right, welcome to this Faith and Life podcast. My name is Mike Weaver. I'm pastor at St. Luke, and this is Greg.
Hey.
Here we are again, Greg.
We're here. We're ready. Rock and roll.
Just another week, another conversation.
Yeah.
So I have a question
Okay.
before we jump into our topic about faith in a busy world. If you had a choice to meet your great-great-grandparents or your great-great-grandchildren, who would you want to meet and talk
to? Ooh.
Yeah, right? Great-great-grandparents or great-great-grandchildren.
I think the way I'm in the mood right now, I would say great-great-grandparents. And I think why I would say that is because I want to know more about, what they went through, what their, advice for me. I don't know if I'd want to know the future. Like if it's, I don't know what the future holds. So like the great-great-grandchildren, there's a fear there of like, oh, what if something I couldn't control, like,
right.
Like there's that fear for me. So I think I would go back to what are ways that I can learn and grow and continue to be better.
Right. Yeah, that's good. I would go with the grandparents as well, because I'm fascinated by history. I'm fascinated by ancestors who've gone through things, and I would just love to talk to them and see how similar and dissimilar they are to us. Genetically, we're related. So is there similarity of mannerisms, perspectives, and so on? And what wisdom can they give me? Kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by great-great-grandchildren too, since I would love to have, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. But my chair is all.
You're all wobbly.
Like I'm all like on a Cedar Point ride all of a sudden. But I would go with the great-great-grandparents.
Okay. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So faith in a busy world. It is a busy world. Everybody's got things going on.
Right.
And we talk about faith and connecting with God, lots of times it's about slowing down to be with God because I think God can keep up with us. There's no question about it. And God's ahead of us and God's behind us. But it is about slowing down to be with God. And that can be a challenge.
Yeah, I think so. And our society doesn't love slowness or calmness. Like we praise busyness. All right. Like if you're not busy, people think you're not working or doing something. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. When you're like, oh, I have so much to go on. Like we almost like glorify our busyness of like, I have this schedule, I have this schedule, I have this. And it's like, sometimes like, man, can we glorify like being slower in life and calming things down?
Right. I mean, it's just busyness becomes a badge of honor.
It is.
Therefore, I am productive. I'm a valuable member of society because I'm busy. That's the mindset sometimes it could be. But yeah, I mean, sometimes the most productive people are not busy.
Yeah.
And the most effective are not busy. They've slowed themselves down enough to focus on what matters. And that what matters becomes the greater contribution to the world around them because they've slowed their lives down a bit. Yeah. We went through a book study pretty early, I think, once you got in, and it was just kind of finding your rhythms in your working space, right? Like you have these spaces of like, these are times like where you're going to thrive as a worker, and then there are going to be times where you're like, you shouldn't schedule something very important in this time frame because you're not going to be at your top peak, right? And I think that is partly goes into this idea of how do you maximize your effort in the midst of the business, because we all are busy. Like you can, and if you're not, you're going to find something to fill that time to make it busy. Yeah, no question. We will fill time because I think there is an author, Brennan Manning, who talks about going on a silent retreat for many days, and the struggle that he faced in that silent retreat by himself. It was a solo silent retreat. He realized he was alone with himself. And he was alone with his own thoughts and his own ideas and his own darkness. And that really, he had to work through all that challenge of being in that place where he was just alone. and slowing everything down. It's like, I think sometimes the business can cover up all those things that we want to avoid.
Yeah.
It's like the old saying my friend would say in a car, the cars we used to have back in the day.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day. But here's how to fix the car: turn the radio up, right? I mean, there's a knock in the engine. Oh, just turn the radio up, just drown out that sound. It's going to go away. It's not going to go away.
No.
But sometimes we have this philosophy: if I just am more busy, I'll outrun this, or I'll out whatever that is. Reality is, we're still faced with whatever that is.
Yeah. And it's so interesting to see how much, like, there's a lot of things we talk about with, like, Jesus, where it's like, well, did Jesus say this? He didn't really emphasize this. But, like, Jesus emphasized the importance of solitude sometimes, of, like, going and finding a place for your faith, right? Like, he's like, I got to go to the garden. I got to pray. I got to have these moments. And, like, he sets the example for us that I think we so often as believers sometimes can miss that and forget that, like this was important in Jesus's life. It also should be important for us. Like, if someone who's fully God and fully human is like, hey guys,
right,
even I need a chance to just get away and let the world slow down. Maybe we should too.
Absolutely. Look, we know how to do this.
Yeah.
We do it, I mean, in our relationships. In order for me to connect with my friends, or to connect with my spouse, or my kids, I have to make the choice to slow it down, to be present in that moment, to listen to them. Otherwise, if I don't, and I say I have a great marriage, and I'd never spend time with her, do I really have a great marriage? Ask my wife. Would she say we have a great marriage? Because, hypothetically, I don't spend time with her.
Surprise, Mike, we have Darcy right here on the podcast. Hey. Darcy, so.
Great, fantastic. But I do, you make conscious choices to have dinner together, to go on a date, spend time with your kids. Those are conscious choices in the schedule that block out time to connect. And I think we can do the same thing with our Lord. Like you were saying, Jesus blocked out time to go into solitude to be with God.
Yeah.
In that way. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, that was one of the first things that when I was going through marriage counseling with Stacy and my wife and I was like, pick a date night. And like, that is your date night. And like, and for the longest time it was Tuesdays. And like, we were really adamant, like, you don't talk to us on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is our day. And then we had kids, and that wasn't as big of a priority as it was, and we need to make that again. And it's funny because then I was going through a young couple who's getting married here in the fall, and I was doing their pre-marriage counseling, and that was what I'm like, block out time. I'm like, because if you can't find the time to do this now or go to church now and put your faith into it now, if you're expecting to have kids, like, it's not going to get easier for you to find time to do that, right? You're going to have, so like, you need to build these habits in now. And I think that is with anything in life, right? We need so often in life, we're like, oh, when I get to here, then I'll be able to start to do this, right? We talk about that with financially giving, like, oh, well, once I'm here, then I can give. And it's like the importance of teaching our kids younger, like, no, just give the penny that you have, because it's building something in you. It's building a habit. And I think that's important for us to find, building that habit of getting that quiet time with God, outside of just coming to church, finding that time where it's, because if you only spend time with your spouse one day a week, it's not going to be, it could still be fine. You can still say I have a relationship with her, but it's not going to be thriving. It's not going to be what it could be. It's not going to be at that level. And so he's still finding time. So how important for us is, as great as Sunday morning for us, how important it is for us to find those moments throughout the day to have those connections with God. So it's not just this one and done thing, and block out those moments and whatever it is. And it's going to look different for everyone. There's no like great plan of like, well, if you do this, step A, step B, step C, then you're going to be perfect and you can have a great relationship with God. Like, you have to figure out what works for you and your lifestyle.
That life with God, it's a relationship. And any relationship takes time, effort, investment, give and take. And we say, well, you can't, how do we connect with God in a give and take way? There is that. I mean, God can speak into our lives through God's word. We can speak to God through prayer and so on. There is a give and take. I mean, there's the old adage, we make time for what matters to us.
Yeah.
And if this matters to us, then we make time to do it. It's not to be heavy-handed or law
No.
or anything like that, but we all instinctively know that's true.
Yeah.
Because that's how we live. We make time for what matters.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the things that I think would be helpful is just if you take a look at your week.
Yeah.
And just like look at what you did every day. And are there things that you go, because your day's going to be filled with some degree of something. And what is it filled with? Is it filled with work? Is it filled with kids? Mm-hmm. Is it filled with reading? Is it filled with TV? Is it filled with scrolling on your phone? Is it whatever it is? And I think you're going to start to then see what dominates your time. That's what matters. And for a lot of us, it probably is work. It dominates our time because it then provides for our family, it provides for our kids. And I'm guessing for a lot of us, the next is going to be our kids. If you have kids, of taking them to practice, doing this, going to, our kids are in something Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night. And there was a potential of changing something on Tuesday. So then one would be in one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I was just like, we want to have at least 2 nights during the week where there's not something going on. And we're like, yeah, we probably do. So, but it is trying to figure out what works in your context. And it's always going to change too.
Oh, no question. Yeah, absolutely. I think early on, I know early on in my Christian life as a committed follower of Jesus, one of the first spiritual practices somebody taught me, Dennis was his name, was how to have a daily quiet time. Mm. Up to that point, nobody had shared that practice with me. It's not that it wasn't important to people and people in my life then. It just never came up.
Yeah.
But Dennis took the time to show me how to have this in the morning or at some point during the day. Now, for me, it's in the morning. But that became the first spiritual practice that became the heartbeat of my relationship with God as I follow Jesus. It still remains to this very day the most important part of my day, how I start my day. Mm. And I would recommend it to anybody. For me, it started out as a small 15 minutes in the day or sometime in that day, making a commitment to do it. Now it's more than 15 minutes. That's literally how I start my day. After I get up and make my coffee, I do my quiet time. And it's the quietest time in the morning. I'm by myself with the Bible, with me, with God, and we have a conversation. Mm-hmm. And but it's vital. I miss it when I don't do it. It's a rare occasion that it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Even if I'm in India, it still happens.
Yeah. And I think that's the framework for us, right? Of making time for what matters. We saw that in scriptures. We saw that Jesus made time for those moments to have. And what does it look like for us? What does it look like because again, if we don't diligently find a time to make time for that, it's not going to happen. It's not just going to be like, oh, well, if I get some free time, you got to kind of figure out where can I fit this in. And then it becomes a habit, and it doesn't become and then it doesn't have to be, where do I fit this in? It comes into what you're talking about of like, I feel like I miss something if I don't have it, right? If I don't have my cup of coffee in the morning, I'm like, oh man,
yeah.
Like my day is off. Like why? I didn't have my coffee. Like, okay. Well, probably should be the same way I feel about my Starbucks or my Silverbridge coffee I brew in the morning, about my faith, right? Whether it's in the morning, afternoon, evening for you, if you don't have that chance, right? Like, I think you miss it, and you need to find ways to set that up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Stephen Covey analogy of a
Is that
jar.
the 7 Habits guy?
7 Habits of Highly Effective People,
yep.
Right, exactly. But in one of the 7 habits is sharpening the saw, which is taking a break, mm-hmm. sharpening the metaphorical saw in our life so we can be more effective. And that's a slowing down thing for Stephen Covey. But he also gave the analogy of like a jar with all this sand and these big rocks and the sand, and how does it all going to fit in this jar? Can you put all the sand in first and then put the rocks in? It doesn't fit. But if you put the big rocks in first and then you pour the sand in, it all fits together. It's all how we put things into that jar. And for him, it was like, the jar is your day, or the jar is your life. We have all these busy things that we need to do. That's the sand.
Yeah.
But if we allow all those things to come first, those big important things that we hold to be vital for us won't fit. But if we put those things in our lives first, those big rocks, literally the sand will fit in all around it and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it's choosing to put these big rocks in first and allowing the other things to shape around it.
Yeah. So it's maybe the next step for some of us is figuring out what our big rocks are in that, right?
Exactly.
Is it family? Is it relationships with friends? Is it our kids? Is it our work? Is it our faith? Is it all of these things? And once you have those in place, because again, I think sometimes we can say, well, it's faith, family, but that faith rock doesn't get put in first still.
Right.
And then we try to fit it in once we've surrounded it with all the other sand and busyness, and we go, oh, there's no room for it. And so we try to put it into the jar and move the sand a little bit, and but the sand's already in, you can't get it out, right? So yeah, that's such a helpful metaphor.
And then we get guilt, then we feel guilty and we put it in, and it's not about guilt.
Yeah.
It's just now dumping it back out, starting over.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a new day, next week's a new week. Just do it. And it really is about living with intention and purpose around what matters. And if life with God matters, we just make time to do it. It's the big rock in our lives. Yeah. So, I hope this is helpful. And just to continue the conversation, it's never going to go away. Life is just going to have its own pace that we have to match. But we're not a servant to the world in a sense. We are servant to our Lord, who puts us in the world to be effective in the world. Yeah. So that's the crux for me.
Yeah, I do.
Good stuff. Thanks for the conversation.
Absolutely.
We'll talk next week.
Yeah.